Hello friends, welcome to this introductory video on physics is fun. I've been trying to do this channel for a long time now and I'm glad that I'm finally here. I hope this channel will be helpful for all those students who are appearing for the 11th, 12th and subsequently for their entrance exam. I also wish that parents of the students also should see this introductory video that I'm doing because it's extremely important to understand why I'm doing this and what benefit you can get out of my lessons. So if you see, I over the last couple of weeks, I would say, I was researching on all the materials that is available on the internet. I was also going through a couple of YouTube channels which were teaching physics and high school mathematics, chemistry, etc. To be honest, I didn't find any of these channels really, focusing on the concepts and giving students a way forward, a strategy, a kind of roadmap. It's all about just learning, pushing as much as you can into those brains. And that's not the way you actually learn the subject. So this channel will be dedicated for all those students who would like to take a different path towards their destination. And the reason I'm doing this introductory video is to give you a basic idea about how we're going to approach our study environment, what you can expect out of it, and most importantly, what we will do and how we will do. So if you look at the whole system that we currently have, in your 11th, 12th, and if at all you're going for any coaching classes locally, you will find certain patterns, and I call these as typical problems with our learning system. Now, most of you will agree. The first thing that you will see is most of these guys, you will find them, they have a hurry of jumping into problems. They will spend the least possible time on explaining you the concepts, what a particular philosophy of the subject is, or why certain things happen, how it happens, how the mathematical formula gets derived. Without understanding any of these, quickly they jump into problems, do a number of problems, then within no time they start pushing you to take exams, sample, test exams, test papers. And these kind of create a lot of stress within students. The second problem that I find is there is very little time spent on visualization of a problem. Now, physics as a subject is extremely visual. From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you see a lot of things happening. You drive in a car, you play, you walk up the stairs, you carry your bag. Everything we do from the time we wake up to the time we sleep, there are concepts of physics playing. From the time you use your microwave, the time you heat your food, it's all physics. Physics is around us. And when it is around us, when you're surrounded by physics, why don't we actually try to visualize it? Visualization is an extremely important part of physics. And I stress upon this point that unless you visualize the problem well, unless you visualize why certain things occur, how certain things play out, you will not be able to enjoy physics. So visualization is extremely important, and visualization is going to be one of the core parts of our learning process. There's going to be absolutely no doubt about that. And then coming to the third part, every concept of physics is interwoven, which means every chapter has a connection with the previous chapter. You cannot go to the next chapter without understanding the previous chapter. It's extremely important to understand the connection between these two. That is one of the very important things that I want you all to understand. Many times people jump chapters. To some extent, it's possible. For example, if you're going from kinematics to electricity, if you're going to quantum physics, then it makes sense. But otherwise, no, you don't do that, right? You have to understand the concept, the connection between the chapters. So please get that in mind. Very, very important. Point number 4 is self assessment. Now, I want to emphasize on self assessment because this is going to form a large part of our strategy to get to our destination. Now, what self assessment basically means? It basically means understanding yourself. Nobody understands ourselves better than we, right? I mean, you know your shortcomings, you know your problems, you know how much hard work you can put in. So it's as long as you're brutally honest to yourself, I don't think self-assessment is a big problem. What I find is a lot of parents and students tend to overestimate themselves. It's extremely dangerous if you're going to overassess yourself. Underestimating yourself is not a big problem, but the problem arises when you begin to overestimate yourself. I'll give you a very, very typical example. I find a lot of parents and students aiming for IIT, computer science, or mechanical engineering. Now, you need to understand, to crack the IITG, that is the IIT Joint Entrance Exam, where around 10 12 lakh people take the exam every year, you have to be very, very good. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And now, for instance, let's say you're studying in a city like, let's say, Delhi or Bombay, or maybe a city like Vizag or Bhopal or anywhere. Now, and if you are attending let's say a entrance coaching, maybe a FitG class or a brilliant class or whatever, if you consistently are coming in the first or second position in all the exams that they are taking, the test papers, if you're consistently coming first or second, it is only then that you can expect to come in the first 500 or 1000 All India ranking. If you're not coming in the first 1 or 2, please do not think that you will crack the IIT exam. Far from it. Please understand this. We will get to more details on how to self-assess yourself as we keep moving forward. But the bottom line is, understand your capabilities, understand what best you can get out of yourself, and channelize all your energy on that. Don't try to achieve something which is out of your bounds. It's extremely important, and the moment you self-assess yourself, you will be able to figure that out. Point number 5. Please understand that we are all different. Everyone is different. What works for me will not work for you. I may wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I can study very well. For somebody, it doesn't work. For some people, they like studying late in the night. For some people, work power energy is fun. For some people, quantum physics is fun. Some people find, electricity, networking to be very difficult. So we're all different. So we need to understand our strengths and focus ourselves in those directions. So the idea of this channel will be to uncover ourselves, so that you can focus on what works for you. And that's also very important, and it's also a part of your self-assessment. And then most importantly, which I keep telling everybody, whether it is studies or no matter what you do, enjoy the process. We're all going towards a destination, right? You all, maybe some of you wanted to get into IITG, some of you wanted to get into NIT, some of you want to wherever, maybe medicine, whatever, So that's the destination. But then, there is a process. There is a hard work involved. There is a process to get there. And if you do not enjoy the process, it will be very hard for you to get to the destination. So, and to enjoy the process, you have to make the process fun. A little bit of stress is fine, but don't take so much of stress that it kills you. And if that stress kills you, you will lose complete interest in the process. And that's not what we want. That's not what we want, right? So it's important that you enjoy the process. So this is the basic few words that I wanted to talk about in this introductory video. So I'll see you in the next class, where we'll start off with our first chapter which will probably be kinematics. And I'll see you then. Bye.